is that TM is a remarkably beneficial technique for everyone to practice. If you're not practicing TM, you're not making the best use of your mind, you're not replenishing your energy levels, you're not creating the emotional balance that you want. We live in a stress epidemic with so many demands placed on us every day in our jobs, our family situations, in our relationships. And TM helps you to stay ahead of the curve. When you practice TM, which you do for 20 minutes twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, what you're doing is you're allowing your mind to settle into this wonderful calm. Now, we all have this calm, but we spend a lot of our time up in a very active band of the mind. Modern psychology tells us that that narrow bandwidth of conscious awareness may be as narrow as 10%. Now, what does that mean? That means that we're 90% unpotentialized. And what Transcendental Meditation helps us to do is to transcend, which means go beyond. That's the actual meaning of the word. Go beyond and experience the mind at these deeper, more expanded, more potentialized levels. And that allows creativity to be engaged. So we connect with creativity. We connect with our deeper values of intuition. Our intelligence becomes more readily available to us. And this is all backed up by the scientific research on TM. When you practice TM and you allow the mind to settle down to these very, very fine levels, the brain starts to exhibit what we call EEG coherence. Now, what that means is that the brain starts working as a unit. Okay, and that's really important. If you imagine the brain to be like a company with different departments, then if that company is going to work effectively, essentially there needs to be communication between the different departments. They need to share resources, they need to work together, they need to have a shared identity. They need to know what each part is doing so that the productivity of the whole is realized. Now, this is what your brain is like. Your brain is a composite of different values of cognitive function. You have rationality, you have creativity, you have memory, you have instinct, you have emotions. Now, all of these things are really valuable, but when we're stressed, there's a disconnect, and these things operate in a disparate way, so they're not connected. Now, what TM does is help to re-establish that connection. When you practice TM, over time, you start to find that the brain just starts working more at optimal levels. So that means that you come to a task, suddenly your problem solving is better. You have an issue to do with something at work in your personal life, you find more creative solutions to that problem. Your memory is better, you have better recall, imagination is strong, you feel stable and grounded. And that means that everything you do in your life, because the brain is used in everything that you do, that means that you find that your brain is able to offer you the kind of support that you want it to be able to offer you. And that means productivity and success increases. So when we look at the relationship between Transcendental Meditation and success, we see that Transcendental Meditation is a key component to success. And just to go back to my earlier point, if you're not practicing TM, you're just not making enough of that potential. You're not using as much of that potential as you would do. And you're not using your brain in the way that it can work. And the brain has fabulous computational skill. It has amazing capability to be able to solve problems, to find creative solutions to different situations. But if your brain isn't working optimally, then you're just not functioning at that sort of higher level.